this week's discussion topic for ethics and community relations is going to be overall police image, perception of police outcome, and perception of police processes. The first part of that, overall police image, would be, in my opinion, that's what the general public is thinking of law enforcement at the time. Is everybody pro law enforcement now? Is everybody against law enforcement? Which way is it going on the news and stuff like that? Right now, I think it's really divided up in half. I'm not sure which way it's swaying now, because we had the last 2 years or so, mainly in the last 18 months, we've had a lot of news coverage on anything that happens in the law enforcement world. Anytime there's a use of force scenario that goes awry, there is some news organization going to cover it, and they're going to put their own spin on it, whether it be a pro law enforcement spin or a negative law enforcement spin. So the overall perception, that would be how the general public citizens are viewing law enforcement. Like I said, I think it's pretty split down the middle right now. It started out with Ferguson and all that, and it just kind of went crazy after that. That has created the great divide in law enforcement. We've got the pro law people that love law enforcement, and they would do anything they could to help law enforcement. They have gotten even more proactive on helping law enforcement and putting a positive face in the law enforcement world since all of the Ferguson stuff, and the news started bashing everybody that was LE. But then there again, you've got the other half of it that's doesn't matter what law enforcement's they're doing, they're not doing it right. They could have done it better. There's some people who wants to completely get rid of law enforcement. There's a lot of anti-government people that are just do not believe in law enforcement at all. So the overall perception is, who are the police to the public, and are they good, are they bad? And it's really a matter of opinion, and you can't really speak for every single person out there as to what it is. So that's the overall image, is how does the public view law enforcement at the time that you're speaking about it. The perception of police outcome, I think that would be topic to topic or incident to incident. Whether say last week there was a shooting, and what the public thinks of that particular shooting. Do they agree with what happened? Once the story kind of starts coming out, does everyone think that the law enforcement was justified, or were they wrong? Should they have done something different? And that's going to be something that the public's never really going to be able to comprehend until after the fact anyway, because all the facts of the incident are not released until after the investigation's over with, and after SBI has come in and done their thing. It's been thoroughly searched top to bottom to make sure there's nothing missing, make sure there's nothing out of place, and make sure all of the officers' I's are dotted and T's are crossed. And if it comes out that he could have done something different, then it's going to be released to the public, but it won't be until after everything goes to court. So there's always going to be the perception of police process that's got a little bit of a lack of knowledge, and it's that can really greatly influence the public's perception of that, which isn't fair for law enforcement, and it's not fair to the public, but neither of us can do anything about it. So that's always going to be something that's left in the dark for a while until it's over and done with, and a lot of people probably don't even think about that. The last part of it will be the perception of the police process, and I think what that's asking is the perception of police processes and how they go about doing their things from day to day or case to case. Whenever a investigator, or even when an officer gets called to the scene and he's doing his background or doing his investigation, his initial, and he says that, okay, we've done this, this, and this, now I'm going to have to go do some other stuff, and the victim may want that person that they're accusing or thinks committed a crime arrested right then and there. Law enforcement may not be able to place that person under arrest because they don't have anything but circumstantial evidence. They don't have anything proving beyond a reasonable doubt that said suspect did commit a crime. A lot of people are not good with that because they're not getting any immediate justice, and I think that's a big problem in public's eyes is immediate justice. Everybody wants everything right then and right there, and depending on the crime, I don't really blame them. There's just nothing that law enforcement can do sometimes, and our hands are tied. We'll do everything we can to make the victim feel better, and do our job, make everything happen like it should. But I think that's what it means by perception of police processes is whether or not whoever's dealing with the situation thinks that it's the correct way of going about the process or if it's working for them. Usually if it works in their favor, then they agree with it, and if it doesn't work in their favor, they don't agree with it. And it'll go from person to person. So that's another big variation from situation to situation for the public, where anybody you ask can probably give you a different answer. So I think that's what those three mean, and I will talk to you next week.